Peace, peace. I'm back with another lesson, and we're going to be further confirming that the Bible is a mythological book. It's not real. So, we are going to start off with a definition called Cognitive Dissonance. This is what you niggas is suffering from. Cognitive dissonance. You think that Bible is real, but it's not. You think that God is real, but he's not. He's an imaginary being. Alright, let's read cognitive dissonance, right? It says, the state of having inconsistent thoughts, beliefs, or attitudes, especially as relating to behavioral decisions and attitude change. Now, I've already proven that our ancestors came up with the concept of God. And this book called The Africans Wrote the Bible. Now, what I want to do is, so, we all know about the ancient Egyptians, okay? But the ancient Egyptians is not describing a specific group of, it's not describing a specific tribe, okay? So the Egyptians were a tribal people. Now, how can I, myself, insert myself into the Bible and proving that one of the tribes that I come from wrote the text that you believe in? So, in the book called The Africans Who Wrote the Bible, the author, he's from the Akan tribe. Okay? So he says, I am an African, especially an Akan. As I began to exercise of trying to decipher the indigenous names of ancient Egyptian kings, peoples, and places, I began to discover that most of these names were Akan. From a very distant mind, I began to understand why some of the names and aspects of the story of ancient Egypt felt so familiar to me. He says, I did not discover only Akan names in the ancient Egyptian story. I also discovered the Ebre, the Igbo, the Yoruba, and the Hausa names, especially in the ancient Egyptian kings list. So, he goes on to say here that it also dawned on me that though Western scholars have written volumes about the ancient Egyptians and some have made eloquent documentaries and comments about them, none has ever known the true African tribal origins and identities of these ancient magnificent people. These Western scholars have never known what languages these people spoke in ancient Egypt, and they have never known the true cultures of these ancient people. From this knowledge, I began a book entitled The Ancient Egyptian, The Story Africa Has Never Told, and things like that, right? So I have already proven that these people who consist of these tribes that are ancient Egyptians, they are the ones who came up with your Bible. They are the ones who came up with the concept of God. So, me, myself, I come from one of these tribes. Okay? I come from one of these tribes. And let's prove that. Let's prove that I come from one of these tribes. See, you niggas, you grown adults are believing in fairy tales. You are believing in fairy tales. Okay? Now, so he listed the Hausa people. And they come from the ancient Egyptian kings list. Now, when I go here to my Ancestry DNA, it says here that I share genetic ancestry with the Bowie people living in Baiko Island, the Tikar, Hausa, and Fulani people living in Cameroon. Okay? So you got the Hausa people. So I would be so by technicality, I am a descendant of the ancient Egyptians. The Hausas. I'm a descendant of these people. Okay? So, let's go back here too. And then we're going to go to a website called God is Imaginary. Okay? I have this guy's book called How God Works. The book that proves that God is imaginary. Okay? Now, let's go back here to show you that our ancestors came up with the concept of God. God is no different than Santa Claus. Okay? So, you have here, I've already went over this before, okay? Now give me 1 second. See, the Bible is a storybook. It's our storybook, and it's told through historical people, but the characters in the Bible is fiction. You niggas think this stuff actually happened for real. Okay? It's a belief. It's a belief. It never happened in stories. Okay? It never happened. I'm trying to free you niggas' minds. Now, so you have here, I've already talked about this before, man. Like here, the origin of the concept of death, heaven, and hell. These are beliefs. These are our ancestors' beliefs. This is what they believed in. It's a belief. You niggas think it's real. The origin of angels and the hierarchy of the natural of godliness, origin of angels, demons, they came up with all this stuff, man. All of it. The creation of the religion and the concept of God in ancient Egypt. Now, let's go here. Let's pause right here for a second. Let's pause right here for a second to prove that our ancestors came up with the concept of God. Let's prove this. So I'm on this guy's website called, it's called God is Imaginary, right? Okay? So you got here proof. I'm gonna post this link in my description box. And he has 50 proofs to prove that God is imaginary. So, we on proof number 3. It says, look at historical gods. It says, we know, for example, that the ancient Egyptians believed in their God so fervently that they built massive structures like the Great Pyramid. Still today, one of the largest and most enduring human constructions ever created. Despite that fervor, however, we as a society have decided with complete certainty today that the ancient Egyptian gods were imaginary. Now, he's not lying. Thus, we do not build pyramids anymore, and we do not mummify our leaders. We reject all of the rituals and ceremonies of the Egyptian religions because there is no evidence of their God's existence. Now, let's keep on going down here, right? And you're going to come across something that they call people pagans. Okay? So it says here that at the bottom, they call these people pagans. Right? It says here that obviously the pagan believers from whom Christianity derived its myths worship gods that were imaginaries. If gods such as Horus, Ra, Mithras, etc. were real, we would have proof of their existence, and everyone would be following those gods. Now, he said that these people were pagans. Let's go back here to the Africans who wrote the Bible. In this book here, these white missionaries came into this man's land, and they said that he needed to be saved by Jesus. And they said that he needed to give up his African paganistic ways. So who did they call pagans? Black people, Negroes. Okay? But on this site, he did not want to give the credit to black people for coming up with this concept of God. So let's go back here to let's go here to right here. See that here? Read it again. The creation of religion and the concept of God in ancient Egypt. Now I just told you who these ancient Egyptians were. These are historical people, and I am a descendant of these people. So your Bible is imaginary. Now wait until I might go into a little bit of in this video, in this book called Drunk with Blood, God's Killing in the Bible. Okay? Now, let me read it again. It says, today, the name of God is a household word in every religion and language around the world. Even people that do not believe in God and religion have the concept of God in the recess or the back of their minds and disbeliefs. Most Christians do not know how this God came to be because the apostolic fathers of Christianity never wanted it to be known that the foundational concept of God was conceived by the black people that were the ancient Egyptians. Now I just told you who these tribes consist of. Okay? The Hausa, the Igbo, the Yoruba, the Everett. They know this stuff over there, man. Why think they got millions of gods? So how do you know your God in the Bible is the right one? It's imaginary. It's not real. He's no different than Santa Claus, damn it. Wake the hell up. So it says here that most European scholars have long known that black Africans created the concept of religion and God. However, not many have had the courage and honesty to credit these black Africans with such creation. At least one scholar credited the Africans with creating the concept of religion, and he did so powerfully. In the frontispiece to Was Jesus Christ a Negro, Curtis Alexander quoted Peter Eckler as saying that an imaginative and superstitious race of black men should have invented and founded in the dim obscurity of past ages a system of religious belief that still enthralls the minds and clouds the intellects of the leading representatives of modern theology. It says that still clings in the thoughts and tinges with the potential influence the literature and faith of the civilized and cultured nations of Europe and America. Is indeed a strange illustration of the mad caprice of destiny, of the insignificant and apparently trivial causes that are produced the most grave and momentous result. Okay? Peter Eckler points out that a group of ancient, imaginative, and superstitious people created a system of religion that still mystifies the greatest religious minds of the civilized world today. Guess who these ancient, imaginative, and superstitious people were? They were black people. What is worthy of note in this quotation is that Peter Eckler was a Jew. His people, his are the people that have claimed before Europeans that they created the concept of religion and godliness for over 2,000 years. However, he knew better. This quotation is therefore like a confession, as he wonders how such a great invention could have come to black people, a race of superstitious but imaginative people. Your God of the Bible is imaginative. He's no different than Santa Claus. Black people came up with the concept of God. That's why you worship God. So all that shit in the Bible about God killing people with the flood, it's all fake. It never happened. Wake up. It's fiction. It's a belief. It's a belief. Wake up. Don't get mad at me. I'm trying to free your mind. So all those prophecies in the Bible are man-made. It's fake. It never happened. It's all stories. Okay? Now, watch how I did. So now that we know that God is an imaginary being, check this out. So, in the New Testament, right? I know what tribe Jesus came from. Jesus of the Bible, Jesus, the historical Jesus, was a real life person. But the stories about him is fake. Okay? Now, let's go to Genesis 1:21. Let's go to Matthew 1:21. These are facts. Don't quote Bible verses. Quoting Bible verses ain't putting a goddamn thing. Don't get mad at me because I'm tearing your belief system down. Okay? Don't get mad at me. How you gonna get mad at me? Okay. So you got Matthew 1:21, right? You know the story. Okay? You know the story. Now listen to this. If we know that God is an imaginary being, and our ancestors came up with him, listen to this. The fact that the Jewish people did not acknowledge Jesus as part of the conception and reality of God is also interesting. If the story of Jesus as it was told in the New Testament truly happened, then it is prudent to assume that the Jewish people must have been closest to this story, an event than any other group of people. This means that the Jewish people know more of the story of Jesus' religious importance than Europeans. The question therefore is, if the Jewish people whose story, the story of Jesus, was supposed to be not to accept Jesus as the Messiah or the Son of God, how can Europeans proclaim Jesus to be the Messiah and the Son of God? It says Christianity claims that Jesus was human. Listen to this. How can a human be the son of an imagined and a personified God? So how can Jesus be the son of a God who's imaginary? Wake up. It says, was it because this God was so effectively personified by the ancient Egyptian creators of the concept of God? Is it because he is an imaginary God that the editors of the biblical narrative created a fictitious conception between this God and Mary, the mother of Jesus? You see that? In the Apocrypha, there is an Ecclesiasticus, or the wisdom of Jesu, the son of Sirach. Is there another story of Jesu that many people do not know and Christianity does not want them to know? It says, note the slight difference in the spelling of the name Jesus and the Apocrypha. The spelling of the name Jesus in the Apocrypha approximates the indigenous Akan name Iesu that was transposed into Greek as Jesus, as Jesu. And then the Greek ornamental suffix S was added to make it Jesus. You see that? So how can the book of Matthews, when it says the Holy Ghost impregnated Mary and Jesus came about, well, how can that happen when Jesus, when God is an imaginary being? Wake up! You got grown adults believing in fictitious stories, and you are suffering from you are mentally disturbed. That's what's wrong with you. Mentally disturbed. Mentally disturbance. What does that mean? A mental disorder, also called a mental illness or psychiatric disorder, is a behavioral or mental pattern that causes significant distress or impairment of personal functioning. Now, so I just exposed the whole New Testament. How can Jesus be the son of an imaginary being? Your Bible is fictitious. It's fiction. But the people who wrote it are historical. Now, if you want to know what tribe, so what language do the Egyptians speak? So the Egyptians are a mixture of people that are the Akan, the Everett, the Hausa, the Yoruba. So if you want to know what an ancient Egyptian looks like, or a descendant of an ancient Egyptian, go to my video. Look at what I look like. You're looking at one. I'm giving you the answer to the Bible you've been trained to believe in. So let's go here. So if you want to know what I look like, if you want to know what a descendant of an ancient Egyptian would look like, let's go here to my channel. And we want proof. Don't quote no goddamn Bible verse. That's not proving a goddamn thing. So, if you want to see what an ancient Egyptian or a modern descendant of an ancient Egyptian would look like from one of those tribes, go to my video, go to my channel, click on videos, and go to the video on this video right here. I've shown my face before. You've seen what I look like. Go to this video right here. Jewish Holocaust exposed. Right here. This is what your modern descendant or modern descendant of an ancient Egyptian would look like. This is it. You're looking at one.
So when you go to sleep and you try to go to sleep,
you're looking at one. I'm explaining to you that the Bible that you've been taught to believe in was made up by historical people, and the characters are fictitious. So the Bible is our storybook, but it's being told through Eurocentric Neanderthal through a Neanderthal perspective. Just proving it that quick. But you niggas are suffering from cognitive dissonance. You think the Bible and all that stuff in the Bible really happened, but it didn't. It's fiction. It's fiction. Now, you have here one second. So don't get pissed off at me. Because I am exposing the Bible that you believe in. Okay? I'm exposing you niggas. You people are suffering. All you camps, all you people are Bible believers are suffering from cognitive dissonance. You cannot tell fiction from reality. You can't tell fiction from reality. But you want to get mad at me. I'm trying to free your mind, damn it. You believe in the things you can't even prove. And you want to come back and quote some damn Bible verse. That ain't proving the damn thing. So your God is imaginary. Now let's go back here to the website God is Imaginary. I'm going to post this in my description box. Okay? And let's go here to God is no different than Santa Claus. Okay? He's no different. Now let's go here to let's see. I'm going to the proofs. I'm looking for a specific one. So when people on here saying, oh, the Lord told me this, and he told me that, you a damn lie. God ain't told you nothing. That's you saying that. That's you saying that. All this shit is man-made. All of it. All of it. No matter what book you come from, the Quran, the Bible, the Veda scriptures, it's all bullshit. It's fictitious. It's fiction. It never happened. So like, let's okay. So if you believe prayer works, how come God won't heal? How come God will not heal amputees? Why won't he heal amputees? If he's supposed to be all powerful, why doesn't he heal amputees? Why? You can't explain it. So let's click on, like I said, I'm going to post this in my description box. And it says, okay, let's go to prayer, right? It says, prayer is a superstition. What is superstition? What does superstition mean? Superstitious is a excessively credulous belief in and reverence for supernatural beings. And it says a widely held but unjustified belief. Let's go to the Merriam-Webster dictionary. What does it say? A belief or a practice resulting from ignorance, fear of the unknown, trust in magic or chance, or a false conception of causation. I'll tell you what the problem is. You niggas are afraid to die. You're afraid that you're going to go to hell. But the whole time, we just looked up superstition, and who was the first people to come up with a superstition or belief? It was your ancestors. Your ancestors came up with all this shit. They didn't know. Since they've been for a long ass time, they've been for billions of years. Well, they say, hey man, we can't explain how we got here, so we gonna give it the credit to some God. So you got here we just looked up the word superstition, right? And we're gonna go back here too. Right here. The creation of religion and the concept of God in ancient Egypt. And what does it say? These white folks is admitting and saying that an imaginative and superstitious race of black men and women came up with the concept of God. He's imaginary, he's not real. So when you pray, who the hell are you praying to? Peter Eckler points out that a group of ancient, imaginative, and superstitious people created a system of religion that still mystifies the greatest religious minds of the civilized world today. Guess who these ancient, imaginative, and superstitious people were? They were black people. They were black people. So when you pray, who the hell are you praying to? Nobody. Nobody's answering your prayers. Wake up. Now, when you click on my channel, you can see my progressional growth from where I started from to where I'm at right now. So I got over 100-some videos, and you can start at the very first one. Okay? You close me this out. You can go to the very first one, see where I started at, and work your way up all the way up to the most recent one, and you will see where I'm at right now. So here's my first video I did. I did this 7 months ago. Okay? So if you want to talk about atheism, well, the first atheists were black folks. They just made shit up. Don't get mad at me. I'm providing facts. I'm looking up words that you're not looking up. You're afraid to look these words up. Prayer is a superstition. It doesn't work. It says here that, check it out. Okay. It says here that you can read this on your own. Okay? You can read this on your own. Don't get mad at me. So you got all these people that's in these camps and individuals making money off of you, knowing this shit is all made up. It's all fake. Because you don't even know who wrote the damn Bible. And I proved who wrote it. I proven it. So, you have here in this book 50 reasons people give for believing in a God. Right? And the main one is people say I don't want to go to hell. Okay? All right? Give me 1 second. Let's see here. So in this book right here, this guy P. Harrison, he is saying the same thing I said in my last video about black people being here for billions of years. Right? And he says here in this section, atheism is just another religion. If atheism is a religion, then bald is a hair color. Now, I want to do a quote. I want to read a quote for you by a woman. Her name is let me see. Give me 1 second. We are all born atheists. When we come out of our mother's womb, we don't know a damn thing. So you got here, quote, we are all born atheists. Okay, we are all born atheists, right? We are all born atheists. Alright, we all born atheists. Okay? Let's click on the images. And we are all born without knowing anything. We don't know nothing. We don't know anything about no God or nothing like that. We don't. That's just facts. The only reason you know about God because you what's been told to you through childhood. That's facts. Okay? That's facts. Now, in here he says here that after all, we have discovered 3 billion-year-old fossils and identified galaxies far beyond our own. Surely we would have traced some trace of gods by now if there were any. But we haven't. So reluctantly I find myself believing in their non-existence. You see that? So I'm going to stop my video right here. Okay? And I'm going to come right back. Don't quote no damn Bible verse. Don't quote Bible verse. That's not proving a damn thing. I just crushed your whole New Testament. How can an imaginary being impregnate a physical being? Somebody's made up. I'm about to come back and do a video on this book. Drunk with Blood. God's killing in the Bible. I'm going to go through all these disgusting passages in the Bible. I want to see if you believe this stuff actually happened. With that being said, peace.